All right, I have shot this video a couple times, so I'm going to cut together a couple of different takes of this one, but all I wanted to do in this video is talk about the new Komplete Kontrol keyboards again. I've already made a video about them. There's a whole bunch of videos going over the great features of the new keyboards. But what I want to do in this video is talk to the Maschine users, tell them what they are losing if they go to this keyboard, because there's a lot of functionality in the old Mark II keyboards that they don't have in the new ones. And if you're new to these keyboards, but you're a Maschine user, you might not have an idea of what that means. Or you might read about it that, oh, they got rid of the Maschine functionality or whatever. So I'll show you a little more details about that because I think it's really important. If you're not somebody who would ever use the Maschine stuff, then that whole lack of functionality is not even a big deal for you. The Mark II keyboard with the Maschine Mark III and the Maschine Plus in standalone, working with the Komplete Kontrol keyboards was quite this magical little ecosystem. And that is gone now with the new keyboards. And right now, the DAW, the DAW control, doesn't work with Maschine. So in other words, you can't play and stop and record from these buttons. You also don't have the mixer on the Komplete Kontrol Mark III that you would have, with the old one. And I'm a Maschine user, so I will definitely be keeping my Mark II set up for now until we get to a point where I can control Maschine with that keyboard, with the new keyboard. But we can't control Maschine. We don't have control over volume and stuff like that. The only thing we can do in Maschine is load up Contact 7 patches, use the browser here, and all of that functionality still works. So I guess you can keep that in mind. But if you're a Maschine user, I would say hold off on this keyboard just yet. And I love Native Instruments, and I love the team that works so hard on all of these devices. But I wouldn't want anybody buying this keyboard getting it home going, what? Where's the Maschine stuff? If you're new to these keyboards entirely, if you've never even seen the Komplete Kontrol Mark II, it's good for you to see that so you can see what functionality it has and maybe pick yourself up one of those because they're probably going to be on sale or they're going to be, going on the used market for sure. But keep in mind that they did just discontinue the Mark I. So if you buy the Mark II in the hopes that it'll be supported for years to come, you might be disappointed in, the near future. Who knows how long they'll support that one for. So let's go look over at the differences with the old keyboard so that you can see how things used to work in Maschine. And again, what I will say with Maschine right now is it's really just acting like a dumb controller keyboard if you were to open this up in Maschine right now, other than if you want to load contact patches. Okay, so now I've got Maschine open, and you can see that just as default MIDI template. If I press play, stop, nothing happens. And if I go over here and load up a Contact 7 patch, then I do get the browser. I can go through, load up a patch. Let's go with Butch Vig drums. And you can see it loads up. I get control with it right here and all that kind of stuff. And it's all working just fine, only with Contact 7. So anything in Contact 7, you'll still get that whole experience. But if you were to go to Maschine, make a new group here and put in something like an internal plugin, so say the polysynth, nothing. You're not going to get anything on there. And we'll see in a second why that's a really big deal, because with the old version, you got tons of control with that. Let's go check out the other keyboard. All right, so now we're going to look at the Maschine functionality of the Komplete Kontrol S-Series Mark II and what is missing. And as you can see, all of these buttons right here are gone off the new keyboard. So they've also gotten rid of solo and mute and just allowing you to do that through the DAW control. Instance MIDI and setup, which is more, dealing with the MIDI functionality of the keyboard. So we had scale and arpeggiator up here on the old one, which is gone from the new one, but of course you can get into that through the menus. What is so exciting about this control? Well, let's say I've got a polysynth right here. This is just one of the synths that comes with Maschine. I can go through the different pages and I can very quickly go in and dial in a patch. With the 40 encoder, I can click right here and I can go, all right, let's put some reverb on that. And make a very cool patch all from the hardware itself. I can go over to another group just by clicking right here with the track button. And now I've made a new group all from the hardware. And I can go, all right, let's go to the first sound on that group. And actually, let's go to the group itself. And we're going to go to the browser. So let's go to Drift Theory, one of the new ones. So load that one up. And you can see right away, it's kind of like, well, what's going on? I've got one sound. I've got the kick. And all I have to do is switch this keyboard mode over here now, and I can actually play the different pads that would be on my Maschine pads. I can play them on the keys. We can go over to the mixer, and I can see my two tracks right here. I've got two groups. I can change the levels of them entirely. I can also push down on the 4D encoder. That's the way that you go in, and I can set levels, and I can adjust pan for all of those individual different samples on this kit. So I can take that, pan it to the right, pan it to the left. So let's go over to my drum kit here, put it in key mode so I can play. So see, I'm not even using Maschine at all right now, and it's all working. So I just press record. Let's turn the metronomes on. So I'm going to press shift record. And I can see the patterns that I've just created. So I can actually edit the pattern. And I can go in and find the notes. And if I click the scene right here, you can see the patterns that I've got loaded in. It's easy to go between the different scenes that you created. Just make a new scene right here. You know, I can duplicate patterns and stuff like that in here as well. If I hold shift down, I get all sorts of other functionality. I'll duplicate a pattern, and now I've got two of those patterns up top, and I can go do something completely different with it. Anyways, there is so much functionality built into this for Maschine. If you're a Maschine user right now, wait and see what they do with this. If it is as promising as it seems, I feel like there could be some really amazing tech that comes to us. And then if you're a Cubase user or other DAW user, and you just want to control Complete Kontrol or Contact, and potentially new other virtual instruments that are going to come up with this, I think eventually this is going to be an extremely powerful keyboard, and could be just right for you. So let me know in the comments what you think. Be nice. I'm just as upset as other people about the lack of Maschine functionality, but I also understand that companies have to make decisions sometimes. So if there are decisions we don't like, that's just the way it is. I'm going to keep using their software. I love their stuff, and I'll just might have to change my workflow in the future. So anyways, thanks Native Instruments for sending this over, and thanks for watching the video.